Hey there, viewers. It's Charlie. I'm back again with another Transformers review. And yes, I've gotten this table back. I just hated the neon yellow one. It was too wobbly, in my opinion. So let's hope that this wooden one that I used to have is going to be better. But well, today's review is going to be on Power Core Combiner's Bombshock with his Combaticon Drones. So yeah, well, I have reviewed some Power Core Combiner figures in the past. I haven't done a review on the drones yet. But before we get to them, let's have a look at the actual Bombshock figure. So, as we can see, this guy is clearly meant to be an homage to Onslaught with his military vehicle modes. So having a 360. I mean, here we have the two cannons. Got the little combiner ports here. Got a mini-com port here. The arms aren't really aligned. Yeah, that's actually a complaint. You can't really get all the wheels lined up that easily. So that's a complaint right off the bat. But looking at the underneath, yeah, the entire robot's just showing. It's one of those transformations where you just transform the legs and arms and you don't do anything with the torso and that's it. But well, there is a cool little feature. Because you actually are able to move both cannons, which is a really cool gimmick. This can also turn around, so this guy can aim. And I suppose if you want to, this bit can also move up. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this guy's alternate modes. So, for comparison, here he is with the other Power Core Combiner figures that I currently have. Ice Pick and Huffer. And yeah, we can see that these guys all have different alternate modes. Because we have a snowplow, a semi-truck, and a military vehicle. So yeah, that's pretty cool. We got different ranges of alternate modes, which is pretty cool for Power Core Combiners. And when we get to the drones, which I will later on, you can see that the drones are different from, well, the namesakes. Like, the Combaticons here are different from the G1 Combaticons. But I'll show you them after I look at this guy's robot mode. So, let's get to this guy's transformation. So, to transform Bombshock, I'm gonna raise up the cannons for these little flaps around the front wheels. Turn this entire section around. This bit can move to accommodate for that. Split that. Get these bits out to form heels. These are going to be some more. These are the legs, power core pegs for the combined mode. Get the feet out. And the feet actually are mismatched. As you can see, one of them is way thinner than the other. Get the arms up the way. Pretty sure you're supposed to turn this entire section around. Get the arms around like so. Then have the cannons over the shoulders like this. And here we have Bombshock in his robot mode, if I can stand him. There we go. Yeah, these come in handy as the robot's heels. So that's actually a plus with this figure. But we can see that this guy does look different from Onslaught in his robot mode, if I can turn his head. I don't know why, but his head's just not looking straight for some reason. There we go. But yeah, this is a cool looking figure. Having a 360. Sure, you could argue that he's got a backpack, but it does allow for some cool shoulder cannons, which I really like. I mean, on the arms, we do have these little combiner ports, so I guess you could, if you flip these out, these could be like little punching attacks. I don't know. Having a look at the head, we can see that it looks like he's got some goggles. That's probably just me saying that. If I'll focus. But yeah, it looks like this guy has an actual mouth, unlike Onslaught's. So yeah, this guy is supposed to be a separate character. Now, for comparison, here he is with Ice Pick and Huffer. So here's Ice Pick. And here's Huffer. And once again, all the robot modes look pretty different from each other. So yeah. So that's pretty much it for Bombshock himself, but we also have some more to look at, because, well, we have these things to look at. These are his Combaticon drones. Well, if I just arranged them in the way I like to have them. So, these are his Combaticon drones. And as you can see, we do not have any helicopters here, nor do we have... we do not have any helicopters or space shuttles here. So, yeah. This just shows that these guys are Combaticons in name only. I mean, sure, we have a vehicle that sort of resembles Swindle and a vehicle that sort of resembles Brawl, but aside from that, these guys don't even have robot modes. So that just shows that these are not the original Combaticons. But looking at these guys individually, here we have a little, I guess, missile tank. Twin missile tank, it looks like, for the snowplow. Here's where you would put the little Allspark Blue ports. You know, these ones. And it would just spring out for the transformation. So you don't have to do it yourself. Got some wheels underneath so it rolls with the spring there. That's pretty much it. Here we have this little Jeep that resembles Swindle. This bit turns. Here's the bit where the little combiner port goes. Yeah, not much to say. Here we have a half-track vehicle. Once again, this turns. Got a roller here. This is where the port goes. Where the combiner peg goes, I mean. And finally, here we have another tank. This one more akin to Blight and Kickback from the Destruction team in Transformers Energon. Because it's a dual turret tank. And as you can see, this bit's just all floppy. This is the hand for the combined mode. And the combiner port's underneath, next to the roller. So yeah, that pretty much does it for the drones. So let's get this guy into his torso mode. So to start that, let's get this all straightened out. Try and turn all this around. Next, try and get this entire turret section around like so. And this actually folds up the combined head. Flip the arms around like so. Have the hands plug into here if you can. I'll turn the head around last. Flip up the feet. Flip the combiner pegs down. And position these how you normally would Transformers combiner torso. And then turn the head around. And that is a sort of Bruticus-esque head, isn't it? Not exactly, but it does sort of resemble Bruticus, as do the turrets in the back. But well, now that you're left with this, we can get to the combining. And I could just be boring and show it and just leave the combination off screen, but where's the fun in that? Come on. See how these guys are automorph? Let's do this on camera. So if we just put these on into the respective slots, as you can see, they spring out. So the twin missile tank goes into there. The twin turret tank goes into here. And these drones are a bit harder because they often just don't stay where they are in their combined mode. But let's see if we can actually do this. But the half track goes into there. And the swindle-like Jeep goes into there. And if I can get this guy standing, which I already have, well, I've just jinxed it. Because, as you can see, because these guys are spring-loaded, since these bits are spring-loaded, they often don't stay in their respective slots, so you have to get lucky. So right now I'm just going to try and pose this guy. Oh, there we go. Yeah, try and pose this guy leaning backwards so he doesn't fall forwards. But here we have Bombshock combined into his. Well, there's not really a name for the combined mode, but I guess powered up mode, power core mode, unstable mode. Yeah, there's so many names for this. But, well, as you can see, it does look cool, but as you saw during the combination, the legs are a bit troublesome. Often they just spring back out and fall off because, well, I don't know. The arms are just fine, it's just the legs. And as you can see, the Jeep drone has to be combined sideways. It's not a problem, it's just weird. I'm not going to do a 360 because I don't want to risk this guy falling apart on me. But it does look pretty cool, doesn't it? Although in this mode, the articulation is quite limited. If anything, it's just the head, the arms can rotate, and he's got some articulation there. And I actually forgot to show the articulation on the main robots. So, sorry about that. So, now that I've shown you this modes, let's go back to the standard robot modes. So I can show the articulation. Okay, now, so for this guy's articulation, if I can just move these out of the way, the head can turn around. The shoulders are on ball joints, so they can move around. Can T-pose. The elbows are also on the ball joints, so they can also swivel, although they're a bit tighter. If you lift this up, then waist can rotate. The legs can move up. Can't go back that far, sadly. Got a bit of knee rotation. Can't really do the splits. Well, can't really do the splits fully, but this is as far as he can go. And he does have a bit of foot articulation. So yeah. So that's pretty much all I have to say about the figure, but I have one last thing to show. Here is Ice Pick with the Combaticon Drones. Yeah, not really much to say here, but seeing how Ice Pick was one of the Power Core combiner figures that was just released with a Minicon instead of drones, this is pretty cool to see. And finally, here is Huffer with the drones. Now, from what I can remember, this guy was recolored as Crankcase, and two of the Combaticons were recolored for Crankcase's drones, so yeah. Well, that's pretty much all I have to say, so my complaints with this guy? Well, I do like him. I do find that when he's in his combined modes, the drones don't really hold in that well at times. I mean, if he's standing on a shelf, then the drones can stay in, but you have to be careful not to knock the shelf, because if this guy's unbalanced, then he could fall forwards, and then the drones will just come falling off. Another complaint I have is, while the arm drones stay on, the actual arm pegs don't really stay on that well. I guess another complaint is the transformation could be a bit fiddly at times, because it's a bit hard to spin this entire section around. But aside from that, do I recommend this figure? Well, if you're a fan of Power Core, if I can even speak, if you're a fan of the Power Core Combiners toy line, then yeah, because the gimmick was a bit hit and miss, but it was endearing. But as I showed, they didn't really pull it off that well. So if you're a Power Core Combiners fan, then I do recommend this guy. But if you do want the Combaticons, go for Combiner Wars Bruticus. I mean, this guy is supposed to be separate from Bruticus, but still. If you want Combaticons, go for the Combiner Wars guys. But these are still nice figures to have in your collection, because they do look cool when combined, as long as you're careful with them. Well, this has been my review on Power Core Combiner's Bombshock with his Combaticon Drones, and this is Charlie Young, signing off.